everyone, this loom video will focus on bringing every element together that we've completed so far. So completed all the necessary steps in order to think about and go ahead with making our final piece. So these elements then include looking back at the mood board, considering artist work, and then thinking about our research on techniques. So for this particular PowerPoint, take subject and take design process. So if you remember back to class, I mentioned the element of looking at mermaids because they're mythical creatures that actually live. So I've taken my from my mood board of a mermaid. Now, I haven't or executed any of these pieces myself, I've taken everything from the internet just to buy that before we start. So I've some images that are on my board. Then what I've done or gone back to that I really liked. Then I've chosen Kira Yustag because she's on fantastical scenes, so scenes that are very dreamlike, and we often find her work and can often be found in mermaids or artists because and as I work further, I've covered that many of her pieces with acrylic paint on canvas. And what you need to do at this stage is you need to discover what pieces and what effect that. So any particular techniques as well that they use. I've discovered that she uses acrylic paint canvas and the colours that it's or recreates and bright and detail. So we see the mermaid still the sail easy to see, but the colours stand out, don't they? What you need to see how you could replicate in your own work. So the artist I've mentioned, she used acrylic on canvas. Now, if I was to do that in my work, I would acrylic paint on fabric. So I've chosen some images that show on fabric here. Now you can use acrylic. I know that these two images on the sides, in the centre, is a more simplified version. Using acrylic, you can achieve very, very lasting effects. Really work with, but it's, as I said, it's just one chosen from my particular artist. Your artist might use different techniques. Your artist chose using Rosie James, for example, but this one I've just gone for medium because it relates very much to the artist that I've chosen. You can see here of acrylic paint on it's the great use because you can really blend, or you can have very contrasting lines of colour. You can see here, you can really contrast the colours, and you get some really excellent results. So this is just some close-ups of the effects that you can get, and this would all be in sketchbooks. With you need to detail, you need to look at every stage and say how they relate to your chosen artist. So copy their style, but you. So what I look is we are asked to combine more, to use more than one technique, to combine at least two techniques together. And what we saw from the artists, there were some areas of great detail. And what I thought I to try and achieve acrylic on fabric is I would use some acetate sheets, plastic sheets, if you like, some very, very fine thick A4 sheets available. So if you want to use this technique, just ask Miss to get you some, because they're easily available in school. And what these is you can permanent markers onto the acetate sheeting. Once it's placed over your fabric, your coloured fabric, it will enhance the colour. It will give it a lovely gloss, and then the detail that you cannot put onto your, let's say, your brushes isn't quite. I think we would all agree that control a marker a lot easier than a paintbrush. What this technique allows you to do is apply all that onto without actually it directly onto the paint. So when you do this, make sure acetate over your, and what you need to do is secure it with mask, and then you'd add your coloured to create, let's say in this, you might want to put the scales on and tail on this, or you might want to enhance part of her hair, or whatever. See here that you get some really good effects. You the markers onto acetate, but what you'd need to do this is you need the acetate first, then apply your D. Obviously, you can see your design underneath. I've just said you need to describe, or you need to your thought processes at every stage, back to your art and how you are, why you are doing this. Perhaps emulate or copy or achieve the effects in their work. So this piece I've chosen from a piece that I saw up at Brookfield, mermaid's face with some hands that just seem to be emerging. And this was a two-piece panel, separately, but they were displayed together, if you like, just like that, so that the face was displayed above the hands there. So that was the end product then. And you need to be thinking around A4, anything from A4 to A3 in size. And you can see here, I've tried to break down the techniques used. So I've used the acrylic paint on fabric. Then I've used the permanent coloured markers to add detail. and I've placed the acetate on top. And then what I did, or what this person did, should I say, I'm presenting this as if I've done it, but what this student did, because I'm not trying to pass the student's work off on my own, I'm just trying to state it as you would actually write it in your sketchbooks. But what this student did was she used straight stitch on the machine, and it was applied over all the main outlines. So any areas, well, firstly, that was done to secure the acetate onto the fabric, but also to enhance any of the main lines. So you can see here that it would be a good idea to follow the main outline just to make sure that the work is secure and just to outline that edge there. But then any main outline you can see here within the hair, some of the main features have been stitched on, but if we look at the face, we could actually do the scales on the face and on the bodice with the markers, because these are bits that are very intricate and very detailed, and those tiny bits are bits that you could actually do with the markers because they'd be a lot easier to do. So this straight stitch then is applied over the main outlines and it secures the acetate to the fabric there. You can see that this acetate, again, it just creates this lovely gloss, shiny finish, and it adds depth to the colours that are underneath. So what you have to do when you've got your final piece then is you go back to your artist and you state again the main elements of their work, the materials used and the techniques used, and obviously you find that out from your research. So, your research needs to be quite targeted to the techniques, not so much interested in how many courses they've done. So not really interested in education or how many exhibitions they've held all over the world, but mainly it's the materials they use and it's the techniques they use in order to create their work. And then, using your research, when you've discovered all this, you need to link your research to the techniques that you have used in your final piece. So again, what you're doing is you're documenting what you've done. So here, in this example, I firstly said that I've used acrylic paint on fabric, and then I've used permanent marker on acetate, which adds detail to parts of the composition that perhaps would have been very difficult. Your very, very fine detail that would have been difficult to have been added with a brush. So these areas are parts of the bodice in this example, and parts of the face, the facial features, the eyelashes, for example. The acetate, when it was placed on top, creates gloss and shine, which is very similar to the artist's work, where I started off and I said that her colours were very vivid and bright. And the straight stitch over the main outline secures the acetate to the fabric and, gives it the overall appearance of depth of colour and shine. This last stage is very important, because if you want to use this technique, what you have to do is, once you've stitched the acetate sheeting on top of your work, you need to get a pair of very, very sharp embroidery scissors, so the smaller scissors, and what you need to do is carefully cut round the edge with these scissors, obviously avoiding the stitch that you've just made. You can see in this end piece with the mermaid's face, you can just see just a slight, about half a centimetre of border there, where this student's tried to cut round as delicately as possible. You're going to get that slight edge there, but it doesn't matter as long as it's cut neatly. That will give you a really nice glossy finish. So that's your end product. And what that includes is it takes in your image that you've chosen from your mood board. It takes an inspiration from your chosen artist and the way that they work and the materials that they use. And it also combines your research from 2 separate techniques that you have combined in order to achieve an end piece. Now, on the last couple of slides, what I've done is I've just included a couple of photographs to show you how these pieces look at the end. So you can see that they're presented on a wall at Brookfield School, and they are simply a panel. So as I said before, we don't need to make an end product. We don't need to worry about designing a bag or a pencil case or whatever. It's simply just one piece of fabric that can be presented on a wall, for example, as you can see here. And there's a wide range of different techniques that have been used here. We can see lots of mixed media. That means that students have mixed different types of fabrics, and got some paper on there. You can see where the sunflower is. They've actually stitched some paper to the final piece. We've got lots of repeat designs there. Now, these are created using both monoprint and lino print. We've got lots of examples of applique and drawing with stitch. So, these are the main techniques that the students have used at that school, because they are quite easy to carry out in school, and you've got all the equipment there that you need for these. And the final slide then is just another picture of a different aspect of the wall that shows final pieces that have been displayed. So I'm hoping that I've actually made it given you an overview of how you can bring all the elements together now, because we've covered every step of this coast project, and now it's up to you to start choosing aspects that you like and bringing them together. Right, thanks very much for listening. Bye.